The NBA is watching Josh Giddey's career flourish, and so is the American media. On Monday, Giddey had one of his best career moments as the Oklahoma City Thunder defeated the Brooklyn Nets on the road. He scored 28 points, tied his career high in rebounds with 9, and dished out 9 assists, missing out on a triple-double by 1. Despite scoring 28 points himself, Oklahoma's Joe Mussatto said that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander looked comfortable deferring to Giddey, who was the most forceful player on the floor. His performance against the Brooklyn Nets was great, but that's not all the accolades he has to his name this season. Oklahoma's victory followed the Aussie's recent hot streak, in which he elevated his game to an entirely new level, especially offensively. His awesome string of performances helped the Thunder push on to the verge of the play-in tournament. What a great feat that would be for the Thunder if they managed to get the job done. Over the past 10 games, Giddey has shot over 50% from the field, 40% from beyond the arc, and 90% from the free throw line. He's also averaging 20.3 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 6.1 assists per game this season, despite a shaky start to the season, during which he was even accused of being in a sophomore slump. Giddey is now widely considered one of the top prospects in this year's draft. After scoring 20 or more points only 3 times in his first 26 games of the season, the 20-year-old has done it in 8 of his last 12 games, including 3 in a row. His game has advanced thanks to his newly discovered offensive explosion, which goes along with his other impressive skills. The fourth quarter of OKC's comeback win over Brooklyn, in which the Thunder rained down a barrage of threes, was a perfect example of this. On the night, Giddey scored 7 straight points to spark the Thunder's remarkable comeback. Rylan Stiles of Locked On Thunder may have found his new ceiling in Giddey's recent hot streak. Stiles was full of praise for Giddey, as he labeled him phenomenal and sensational. Stiles expressed the thoughts of many naysayers during his comments about Giddey. He says he knows that everyone is waiting for things to return to normal, which implies that people think Giddey's form cannot be sustained for long. The commentator also said no one should hold their breath while waiting for that to happen. He urged everyone to accept that Giddey's form has become the new normal in the NBA. Stiles went on to say that Giddey is as good as he is being touted to be. The analyst commended his ability to step up in big moments of any game and score. He also praised Giddey for his knack to snatch up big rebounds, keep possession, and keep the passing going. After only making 26.3 of his three-point attempts in his rookie season, Giddey worked extensively with NBA shooting coach Chip England in the offseason to improve his shooting. This season, he has raised up his three-point percentage to 34.2% on 3.2 attempts, while also making better use of his towering stature by driving to the basket and playing with greater vigor. After scoring over NBA shot-blocking leader Nick Claxton of the Nets on Monday, Giddey signaled with the too little gesture, demonstrating his newfound confidence in approaching the paint. Gilgeous-Alexander had this to say of Josh Giddey: "He's just confident and affirmative. He is confident in his abilities and will not hesitate to tell you when he's kicking your butt." There's no lie in Gilgeous-Alexander's assessment, as Giddey has been performing admirably. He's taking the initiative, making the correct decision, and playing incredibly efficient basketball. Definitely the kid has the mental game, and he puts a lot of work in. Giddey's recent surge has truly propelled this team into play-in and consequently postseason contention, despite Gilgeous-Alexander's all-star level season, receiving much praise for leading the extremely competitive Thunder. One can even say with all authority that Josh Giddey has become the Thunder's missing second star. This must be a good feeling for the sophomore player. Another sweet career moment for Giddey has to be the praise he's receiving, not only from his coach, but from the national media in the U.S. If Giddey maintains his current offensive output, Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer thinks he can become an NBA superstar and even make an all-NBA squad. O'Connor stated on the Mismatch podcast, "We've had numerous discussions about SGA. Who else do you know that deserves special recognition? Josh Giddey. He's really coming along." From the beginning of training camp in October until now, Giddey has been consistently raving about his time spent with Chip England. They've been quite specific about the adjustments they've made to his hand. such as keeping his thumb from touching the ball as he releases it from his grip. Giddey has a history of clutch play in the paint. His touch on layups, floaters, and leaning shots has always been solid, but his shot has never quite gelled. But now, his shooting has significantly improved. Since the beginning of December, he has a free throw percentage of above 90%, can make mid-range pull-ups, and makes threes off the catch. Whether he keeps shooting 40% or settles for 36 to 37%, this guy is headed for all NBA teams if he keeps it up. He's got great vision and passing skills and is a solid defender. He's a strong help defender and is constantly in the passing lanes. Giddey is just in his second season with Oklahoma, and it seems he'll be around the NBA for a long time. Oklahoma has a plethora of upcoming draft picks, and with your current big three of Giddey, SGA, and Chet Holmgren, and all your other young talent, the future looks bright for the team. Although the current performance by Giddey and the Thunder is thrilling, what lies ahead is somewhat frightening. With Giddey and gun rookie Jalen Williams both just 20 years old, Gilgeous-Alexander only 24, and contracted until 2027, and the impending return of round 2 draftee Chet Holmgren next season, OKC has a lot of room to improve and is only 3 games behind the 5th-seeded Mavericks. That's not even taking into account OKC's stockpile of future draft picks or the possibility that the Thunder will acquire additional talent in the coming offseason. In light of the team's recent play, Thunder general manager Sam Presti has a lot to consider as they attempt to make the transition from a rebuilding squad to one with legitimate playoff aspirations. Josh Giddey is definitely with the right squad. With the odd little lineup of Shea, Giddey, Dort, and Jalen Williams, they're like 4 large wings and a center that can switch and cause havoc. They're quick to react and athletic enough to keep up with the ball. Holmgren hasn't even played yet, and they still have a million draft picks. Next year should be their breakthrough season in terms of actual victories. It's safe to assume that they'll be among the teams competing for a playoff spot. Meanwhile, Josh Giddey's best career moments haven't only come on the court, they've come online too. He responded brilliantly to a fan who compared him to the upcoming actor Timothée Chalamet. Giddey looks a lot like Chalamet, one of Hollywood's most lauded new actors. Both share a lot of similarities in their professional lives too. Now, for those who don't know, it's typical of Giddey to claim the parallel and identity himself as him. So getting such a positive reception for his response to the Timothée Chalamet comparison is not surprising. Once Josh Giddey came across the tweet comparing him to Timothy, he quickly put a spin to the name and tagged himself Timothée Chalamet. His followers tweeted their approval of his response, and they have approved of his performances on the court so far this season.